I'm back with another haul today, a bunch of manga and a bit of merch as well. Some fan art items and a Blu-ray box set that I'm excited to share. So I'll get right into it with a few new releases. First is My Dress Up Darling, Volume 12. I just got this one in and I'm really excited to read it. I'm gonna have to reread Volume 11 before I get into Volume 12, but I'm just a really big fan of this series, My Dress Up Darling. I really love Marin and I really love Gojo, so excited to see what's going on with them in this next part of the story. I just looked at the first couple pages and I don't even remember what the next cosplay is that they're working on, but probably going to get into this volume this week sometime. Next I have A Sign of Affection, Volume 10, and I love this kind of deep pink cover and this illustration. I have already read the content in this volume. And this is another one that I just really enjoy with every new volume, reading the development and progression of the relationship between these two university students. It's really interesting because the first several volumes of this series really focus just on their sweet romance and kind of some of their interactions with side characters, but as it's been getting into the more recent content, it's gotten a bit more serious, and not just with their relationship, but also with Itsuomi's past and what his goals are. So excited for the future releases of this one. And I just love how every volume has like a little chibi version of them on the back cover. They're so cute. And next is Volume 2 of My Dearest Patrolman, and this one is a 3-volume series, so over the halfway point now with this volume. I did already read this one, and I'm looking forward to the next volume. I'll probably do a full read-through of 1, 2, and 3 once I get Volume 3. But this is an age gap romance between this 30-year-old police officer and a retired police officer who is 10 years older than him. It's a very cute and sweet story, but also really funny. The dynamic between these two is really fun to read. I'm really glad that we got this one in English, and this 3-volume series also has a 1-volume prequel one-shot that follows a side couple that you see throughout these volumes. And I really hope Sublime is going to pick that one up as well, just so that we can kind of have the complete story with these two and their friends and just this world. But I've been really enjoying this series and read this one the day that I got it in the mail. Another new release is Rainbow Days, Volume 12. Really happy that this one is releasing so quickly, already at Volume 12 of 16 volumes, so I can't wait to have this whole series just on my shelves, and I'm probably going to wait until closer to Volume 16 to just do a full read-through of my physical volumes, but this is a shoujo series that I really like a lot. The series follows 4 high school boys, and he's kind of like the main character of the 4 boys, but each of the boys has their own romantic interests that they're pursuing through the series. And I find their personalities really fun. All the boys are very different, and the girls that they like are all very different, and just seeing how they all interact with each other, and especially seeing their friendship, how they're all so different, but the reasons why they trust each other and get along with each other so well. Next is a series that I don't own in English in my collection. This is a foreign language volume that I got because of a merch item that it came with. So it is Witch Hat Atelier, Volume 13 in French. And the reason that I got this volume is because it was a special edition volume with a double-sided dust jacket with a variant cover illustration on the inside. But then also, it came with an art booklet. So I just read this series last month and I really enjoyed it. I read the series through copies from my library, and it was just recently announced that Kodansha is going to be releasing the series in English in box sets starting next year. So, not sure yet what I'm going to do. I'm not in a big hurry to have the series in my collection because I just read it, and I'm probably going to wait on my husband and his timeline for when he's going to read it, if he wants to read from our own physicals or if he wants to read the library copies as well. But I absolutely did not want to miss out on this hardcover art booklet. I do also have one of the Japanese art booklets on the way from a Japanese special edition volume that came with the booklet. There are a few different ones. I've only been able to get my hands on one of the 3 that I know about, but I saw a flip through on Twitter from this publisher, the French publisher, and I had been watching flip throughs of the Japanese art booklets, and I saw that this one had different art in it. So it wasn't just a repeat of the Japanese art booklet, but it's so beautiful. It has the gold foil on the front and back cover. I'll do a little flip through, but I just ordered this one from Amazon.fr. This is my favorite character. And there's not a ton of art and merch that I've been able to find of him, so I was really happy that there are 2 illustrations of him in this little art book. But kind of interesting, it starts midway through the series with illustrations of the front and back covers. I think starting from volume 9, I think his cover is volume 9, 10, or maybe it's 11. I don't remember, but he's volume 13. But midway through, just the front and back covers. I love him. But like I said, in September, I just binged the entire series and really enjoyed it. I'm planning to keep up with the chapters as they release in Japan, just because it's at a part that I'm really invested. But I'm looking forward to the anime. I'm super late to this series, but I'm glad to have finally gotten around to it. I love this. So one of the Japanese art books has, I think, just one illustration of him. It's not this illustration, it's a different, like I think he's crouching or something in yukata. But then this one, he's standing, and then he's got Crocs on. And he's in yukata too. Just, so happy to have this now. But it's just a pretty small art book, but I'm happy to have this little collection of illustrations. And then I'll show the dust jacket too for this volume 13. So this is the regular cover, front and back cover, and then it's reversible, so it has a variant cover illustration of our main girl here. But again, just really happy to have this now in my collection, and the other art book that I have on the way, I'll share that one when I get it. Next, I have an entire series that I picked up over the last couple weeks. This is another one that I read in September, and I loved it. And immediately after reading it, I went ahead and just ordered the entire series because I wanted my husband to be able to read it from the physicals, and this is one that was not in stock at our library. But if you can see, Kei Sanbei, it's by the mangaka who did Erased, which is another series that I really like. I'll go through and show the covers. So this one is For the Kid I Saw in My Dreams. It's 11 volumes. I am really happy with the physical release of this one because it's a hardcover release. So just like Erased got a hardcover release by Yen Press, this one's also by Yen Press, and it has matching hardcover single volumes. So Erased had 2-in-1 hardcover volumes, so they're a little chunkier, but then the final volume of Erased is a skinnier single, so then these ones just exactly match that one in the height and thickness. But I really enjoyed this read in September when I read it. It definitely has the Erased vibes. It is a mystery, a suspenseful mystery story. I don't want to give anything away, so I'll just say that it follows a teen boy who is set on figuring something out from his past. The series starts with a family of 4, 2 parents and their 2 twin boys. There's some domestic violence, and the opening scene is basically the separation of the twins, and one twin boy is left all alone after his brother is abducted and his parents are murdered in his home. So from that childhood scene, it cuts to his late teens. And from there, kind of gets into the mystery of what really happened and some of the doubts that he has. But I found this read really gripping. I couldn't put it down. And I was really glad to be able to just binge through the whole thing. As I went, I would make guesses, and I was wrong several times. But if you've been paying attention to the covers, there's been a girl with the main character through a lot of the cover illustrations, and she's another one of the main characters. She's another girl, childhood friend, and classmate of the main character. This is one of my favorite covers of the 11 volumes because it reminds me of the Erased volume cover that I really love of the 2 kids in the bus, and so then it's with these 2. But again, I just found the story really interesting, really gripping, really suspenseful, and I really liked the ending too. It was pretty satisfying. I liked how everything was wrapped up by the end. And I really wanted to have it in my collection so that I could just have it on hand when I'm ready to read it again. I'm a big fan of this mangaka. In September, I also read their series Island in a Puddle. And while I did like that one as well, I did like this one better as well as Erased. So this one and Erased, I like both of those quite a lot. Honestly, if Island in a Puddle had gotten a hardcover large trim release like Erased and For the Kid I Saw in My Dreams, I would have just picked it up because they would all be matching and by the same mangaka, but just picked up this one for now. I'm really glad that all the volumes were in stock. I hustled over to Books A Million and Barnes & Noble to just check what the stock was like as soon as I was thinking I might want to pick this series up physically. And I was really relieved that all the volumes were in stock except for one, which was on back order. So I was able to get these ordered with a coupon, and it wasn't during a sale, but I was able to have enough savings that I felt good about just making this bulk purchase. But really excited to have this in my collection now. Moving on, a few other things. The next item I have is a Blu-ray box set. And I'm not really a big collector of anime, so I don't really collect a lot of Blu-rays or DVDs of anime series. But this one is one that my husband really wanted. I'm trying to show. It has these like glossy details on the sides. but it's from the anime series NieR Automata, which my husband is a big fan of. The only anime box sets that we own are Love of Kill and Wotakoi, which are my favorite series, two of my most favorite series. So I have those ones. And then this is one of my husband's favorite series, anime, but then also the game series. So he wanted to have this for his collection, not just the Blu-rays, but also the merch that came in the box set. So I'll go ahead and get this open. But it was a lot smaller than I thought it would be when we got it in the mail. But it was just this one box and the contents inside, so. So first thing when opening it is this case that has the Blu-rays, and right inside is a set of prints, and these are from the kind of end credits of the season 1 of the anime, or part 1 of NieR Automata. But it was just these little depictions of the twins, and they're in high school uniforms. So the twins, as well as 2B and 9S. And I believe they're just, yeah, so 2B, 9S, Adam, and Eve. And then, oh, I forgot to share, there's a little detail here inside the box. I just love the detail, just the little things that they included to really make this box set special. And then I love this stunning illustration of 2B here on the front of the Blu-ray case. So it's just those discs, and I'm not sure if there's any bonus content in these discs. I know that the Japanese box set came with an audio drama, which was not included in the English release, but we decided to get the English release anyways because we wanted some of the merch that it came with to be translated to English, because there are also 2 booklets that came with the box set. Elements of NieR Automata and Pod Records. And I'm really happy with this. It has a lot of the conceptual art from the anime, as well as little captions about them. And then Q&As, a lot of text, so I'm glad again that we got these in English so that we'll be able to take a look at this content in English and be able to read and understand it. And then the pod records. Again, just bonus character information, character designs. fish. But just little details like this are really special when it's one of our favorite series. And then lastly, Confidential. More just details in the merch. I love that. And I love this merch item that this isn't a disc that has anything that I'm able to look at, but yeah, replica disc for decorative purposes only. But this is something that is in the series and has meaning. But really glad we were able to get this box set. And I'm really impressed with the design of everything and the packaging. Just a really cool design for collectors to have these goods, but then also just the presentation is super cute, really clever. So happy to have this now, and I'm glad that it made it safely to us. Oh, I have another pre-order here. I forgot about this one. So Kaiju number 8, volume 11. Another new release. This is content that I've already read because I read the series on the Shonen Jump app. So I am not currently caught up to the latest chapter, but I think I'm maybe 1 or 2 volumes past this. But I really like this series. I haven't read from my physicals at all because I've just continued reading as the story has released. But I'm excited when I do another read through. I'm going to read through my physicals. I love the colorful spines and all of the covers of the different characters. We did just finally this past month get into the anime and we watched season 1. I'm really looking forward to season 2. I feel like it was adapted really well. I wasn't sure at first about the character designs because I had seen the preliminary release of what the character designs were going to be like, and they were pretty rough, so it seems like they went and adjusted them a little bit. Sometimes the characters' faces and just head shape and just sizes of their faces was a little weird in the anime, but overall, apart from that, I really liked the anime. So excited to have another volume from this series. This is one that follows a defense force that fights against invading kaiju monsters that come into cities and just kind of terrorize the people there. And they're the group that is tasked to protect the humans. There are more complexities as there are some of the creatures who are smarter and more powerful than the others. So I'm really curious to see where the story is going to go from where it's at now. I have no idea how long it's going to be or ultimately like what the end point is going to be like. So I'll just be along for the ride as everyone else is. Next, I have a couple JJK items, both fan-made. So first, I have this fan book by an artist that I follow on Instagram, and this is actually their second fan book. I already own their first art book. I shared this in a haul video maybe a year and a half ago of this fanzine of their art. I really like their art style and just kind of approaching JJK from a cozy and healing place. This is my favorite illustration of theirs because I love Toji, and this is just so cozy and sweet. My favorite version of Toji is the AU alternate universe Toji, where he is a doting and loving husband and papa. So this is just so healing to see this. But this was their first fan book that they released, and then they just released their second fan book, See You Tomorrow. And this is the artist, social media handle. But I just am a big fan of their art style and the kind of just the scenes that they choose to depict of some of the duos and trios, just the cast and their relationships with each other. But I know this artist does have, so in addition to these two JJK fanzines, they have JJK prints as well as, I believe they have Genshin Impact fanzines. This one's super cute. And a few other fandom art prints. So love the Toji, the Papa Toji rep. And I'm happy to have this in my collection now. And then along with those fanzines, I also got a couple art prints. So one of Gojo and Megami, and then a little vending machine print with little JJK things inside and decorating the vending machine. So happy to have those. The next JJK goods that I have to share have been highly anticipated, and it's actually an art book and a few merch items from one of my favorite JJK artists. So I got this in the mail a day ago, 2 days ago, and it's stunning. So one of my favorite Toji artists is an artist called Kinoko, and they finally released an art book. I'm so happy. I own 5 of her doujinshi, and I collect any bit of merch that I can get when I see it for sale. I have a couple prints. She has a few acrylic standees that she's put for sale, but I haven't gotten any of those. But she actually designed the Toji resin statue that I have on my shelves. She designed it, Painter Toji, but it came in this paper sleeve. And it came as well with this binder and a pack of sleeves to go in the binder for art prints. And I love this. Oops, some fuzz. I love this. As well as a bit of paper merch, so some prints, some little holographic ticket art prints, and one more print on a more durable material. I don't know what this isn't paper, but it's like some kind of plastic. But I did, when I got this in the mail the same day, I was so excited. I actually did a live on Instagram going through all of this. So because I already did that, I did a 45-minute live on Instagram going through all of these items and flipping through every page of the art book. I'm not going to take 40 minutes again and flip through every page, but I will put up on the screen a little clip of the live so that you can kind of see how it was done. If you want to look a little closer at this art book, you can find that over there on Instagram. I'll put up my grid for my account, what my reels look like, because I did save it as a reel, and that's where you can find that. But I'm still just so thrilled to have this now. This artist is based in China, so When this art book was announced, I was so anxious because I just wanted to get my hands on this art book so badly. And I'm so relieved that after announcing the art book available for mainland China only, they, a few weeks later, announced that it would be available international through a proxy ordering site. So again, just thrilled to have this one. You know what? I will just do a super quickie little, I don't know where I'm at with this video right now, how long it is, but just a quickie little flip through to show all the Toji goodness. And it's predominantly Toji with a bit of Toji and Gojo because their favorite ship is Toji and Gojo. And then there's a bit of Geto and Sukuna, a little bit of Nanami and Megami, and just some of the other cast in there as well. But love, love, love this artist, and so happy to have this in my collection now. And then the final items I have in my haul today are 2 books from the series Bungo Stray Dogs, but only one of them is a Bungo Stray Dogs book. The other book is a collection of short stories and essays by this Japanese writer, Rampo, who a character in this series, Bungo Stray Dogs, is based on, because Bungo Stray Dogs is a series based on different famous writers. But so I got volume 6 of Bungo Stray Dogs, the light novels, so Beast. I already have volumes 2 and 3 in my collection, which are my 2 favorite light novels. Dark Era, which follows Oda, and Untold Origins, which follows Fukuzawa, and those are my 2 favorite characters in the series, Fukuzawa and Oda. But then I just also really wanted to have Beast in my collection as well. I do already own the manga adaptation of Beast, which is 4 volumes, but I wanted to have the light novel version of it as well because I just really, really love the parts of the story that they just really hit me hard when I read them because of the content with Oda and Dazai. I really love their relationship in the main story, but then Beast is like an alternate universe where certain things in the world are changed. But even so, I really love the relationship between these two and the interactions that they have. They're not the main characters in Beast. The story actually follows these two and their kind of switched roles, as Akutagawa is in the Armed Detective Agency rather than the Port Mafia, and Atsushi is in the Port Mafia instead of the Armed Detective Agency. And then these two are switched as well, where he's in the Armed Detective Agency and Dazai is in the Port Mafia. So a couple characters' roles are switched in this universe then from where they are in the main story. But it's kind of like a what if that the mangaka wanted to write about how things would have been different if the characters had different interactions and different opportunities at the start of the series. But I love this storytelling. I view Beast as Dazai's love story to Oda, his friendship, and his deep feelings that he has for him. So I just really, really love this one as well. So I'm really happy to have this one. And then for Rampo, he's another one of my favorite characters in Bungo Stray Dogs, and I've been reading through some of his work. I've read 1 of his short stories and 2 of his novels, but this is a collection of his essays and more of his short stories. I do already own 1 collection of his short stories, so now with this I have a chunk more. So I'll be looking forward to gradually reading through these. Since this summer, I've been making an effort to get into Japanese classic literature, and I've really been enjoying my journey because so many of the writers that I'm interested in are my favorite characters in Bungo Stray Dogs. So I've read a bit of Dazai, Oda, Akutagawa, Rampo. I've read a bit of Mori. I love Mori. And I've been focusing on reading from Japanese writers. But after I read a bit more, I am currently in the middle of a bunch of essays by Fukuzawa. And I have his autobiography on the way. I'm so excited to get it. But once I read through a bit more of the Japanese classics, I'm going to venture out into the works by non-Japanese characters in this series. So there are a few Russian titles that I want to get to by Fyodor and Nikolai, as well as poetry by a couple French writers, Verlaine and Rimbaud. I just am really excited to kind of dip my toes into some of that. I feel like it's been a really rewarding experience, and this is coming from someone who did not pick up a book for almost a decade after graduating high school. But after reading so much manga as an adult and just really getting into light novels this year and then really getting into Bungo Stray Dogs, I just was compelled to get into some classic literature from the 1800s and early 1900s to kind of get to know these characters better, these beloved characters that I adore from this manga and anime series. So happy to add these to my collection now. But this is everything this time around. I'm so happy with this haul. Not too many new releases. I've been slowing down a bit on my pre-orders, only collecting the series that I already have some of and that I'm trying to complete in my collection as the volumes release. But then adding some existing volumes to my collection. So for The Kid I Saw in My Dreams, another Bungo Stray Dogs novel, and then some exciting merch items. So the JJK fan book and art book, the Witch Hat Atelier art booklet, and the NieR box set. So happy to have all of this stuff now. So once I finish this video, I'm going to get everything all tidied up and put on my bookcases. I have a chart that has a list of all of my pre-orders by date of release. So I haven't taken a look at it in a while, but I do have some manga on the way over the next couple weeks. In addition to the new releases I will have coming, I also have a proxy order from Japan that is on the way in the mail, and then a proxy order from Korea that is on the way in the mail as well. So I am just thrilled to have lots of mail on the way. I'm going to be getting right into those as soon as I get them, and I'll share all of those once I do get them in. So hope you enjoyed watching me going through all of these goodies, and I'll see you again soon in the next video. Thanks for watching.